Welcome to Pigeon Healthy. You spend money on premium feed. You give supplements and vitamins. You keep the loft clean. You treat for parasites. You do everything right, yet your birds still have chronic health issues. Respiratory problems that won't clear. Digestive issues. Poor performance. Reduced fertility. You can't figure out what's wrong because you're doing all the standard management practices correctly. But there's one thing you're probably overlooking, and it's causing 80% of the problems in your loft. I'm talking about water quality, and most keepers have no idea how critical it is or how bad their water actually is. Water is the most important nutrient. Birds can survive weeks without food but only days without water. Water is involved in every single physiological process. Digestion, circulation, temperature regulation, waste elimination, nutrient transport, everything. Yet water quality is the most neglected aspect of pigeon care. Keepers obsess over feed quality but give birds water straight from the tap without thinking about what's in it. That water might contain bacteria, parasites, chemicals, heavy metals, or have the wrong pH, and all of these factors directly impact bird health. Today I'm going to teach you everything about water quality for pigeons. What makes water good or bad, how to test your water, the specific problems caused by poor water, and exactly how to provide optimal water that supports rather than undermines your bird's health. Let's start with what's actually in most tap water. Municipal tap water is treated to be safe for human consumption, but safe for humans doesn't mean optimal for birds. Tap water typically contains chlorine or chloramine, added as disinfectants to kill bacteria. These chemicals kill bacteria in the pipes, but they also kill beneficial gut bacteria in your birds when they drink. Chronic exposure to chlorinated water disrupts the bird's gut microbiome, leading to digestive problems, reduced nutrient absorption, and weakened immunity. Some municipal systems use chloramine instead of chlorine. Chloramine is more stable and doesn't evaporate like chlorine does, making it harder to remove. Tap water often contains fluoride, added for dental health in humans. Birds don't need fluoride, and excess fluoride can interfere with thyroid function and bone metabolism. Heavy metals like lead, copper, or iron can leach into water from old pipes. Lead is toxic to the nervous system. Copper in excess causes liver damage. Iron promotes bacterial growth in waters and stains everything orange. Nitrates from agricultural runoff contaminate groundwater in many areas. High nitrate levels interfere with oxygen transport in blood and can cause methemoglobinemia, where blood can't carry oxygen properly. This is especially dangerous for young birds. Bacteria and parasites can contaminate water supplies, particularly well water or untreated sources. Coli, Salmonella, Giardia, and other pathogens cause disease when birds drink contaminated water. Minerals like calcium and magnesium make water hard. Very hard water leaves mineral deposits in waterers and can contribute to kidney problems in birds over time. And pH, the acidity or alkalinity of water, affects how birds absorb nutrients and how bacteria grow in the water and in the bird's gut. Water that's too acidic or too alkaline causes problems. Now let's discuss well water, which many rural lofts use. Well water isn't treated, so it doesn't have chlorine or fluoride, which seems good. But well water has its own problems. Bacterial contamination is common because wells can be infiltrated by surface runoff, septic systems, or animal waste. Many wells harbor coliform bacteria, E. coli, or other pathogens. High mineral content is typical. Well water is often very hard with high calcium, magnesium, iron, and sulfur. The water tastes bad, smells like sulfur or rotten eggs, stains waterers, and the minerals build up in bird systems. Nitrate contamination from fertilizers is a major issue in agricultural areas. Some wells have dangerously high nitrate levels that poison birds. Heavy metals including arsenic, manganese, or uranium can be present naturally in groundwater in certain geological areas. Parasite cysts from Giardia or Cryptosporidium can survive in wells and cause chronic diarrhea in birds. The biggest problem with well water is that you don't know what's in it unless you test. Municipal water is tested regularly and quality reports are public. Well water is your responsibility to test, and most people never do. They just assume well water is pure and natural, but it's often contaminated. What health problems does poor water quality cause? Let's go through them. Chronic digestive issues are the most common. Birds drinking chlorinated water or bacteria-contaminated water develop ongoing diarrhea, loose droppings, poor digestion, and reduced nutrient absorption. You treat for coccidia or worms. Symptoms improve temporarily, then return because the water keeps reintroducing problems. Weakened immunity results from disrupted gut flora. The gut microbiome is critical for immune function. Chlorinated water kills beneficial bacteria, allowing pathogenic bacteria to overgrow. Birds become susceptible to every infection. Respiratory problems can be linked to water quality. Bacteria growing in dirty waters becomes aerosolized when birds drink, and they inhale it, causing respiratory infections. Bacterial biofilms in waterers harbor pathogens that cause chronic sinusitis and pneumonia. Poor performance in racing birds is directly affected by hydration and water quality. Dehydration from bad-tasting water that birds won't drink enough of reduces endurance. Chemical contaminants affect metabolism and energy production. Mineral imbalances from hard water interfere with muscle function. Reduced fertility and poor breeding results occur when water quality is bad. Heavy metals accumulate in reproductive tissues and cause infertility, embryo death, and weak squabs. Chlorine and chloramine disrupt hormonal balance. Bacterial infections spread to reproductive organs cause chronic breeding problems. Kidney and liver damage develop over time from heavy metal exposure or high mineral content. These organs filter toxins and chronic exposure overwhelms them. Feather quality deteriorates. Minerals in water affect feather structure. Iron-contaminated water causes feather discoloration and brittleness. Young bird mortality increases dramatically with poor water. Young birds are more sensitive to contaminants. Nitrate poisoning, bacterial infections, and heavy metals kill squabs and newly weaned birds at high rates. And zoonotic disease risk exists. Some waterborne bacteria like Salmonella can infect humans who handle birds or clean waterers. Poor water quality in your loft is a health risk to you, not just the birds. How do you know if your water quality is bad? First, test it. For municipal tap water, request a water quality report from your water utility. This is public information and free. The report shows chlorine levels, fluoride, minerals, contaminants, and pH. Review it and look for anything concerning. For well water, you must pay for testing. Take a water sample to a certified lab and request a comprehensive analysis including bacteria, nitrates, heavy metals, minerals, and pH. This costs $100 to $200 but is essential if you use well water. You can't manage what you don't measure. Second, observe your bird's behavior with water. Do they drink reluctantly or avoid the waterer until very thirsty? Birds instinctively avoid bad-tasting or bad-smelling water. If your birds aren't drinking enthusiastically, the water quality is probably poor. Third, inspect your waterers. Do they develop slime, biofilm, or mineral deposits quickly even with regular cleaning? This indicates bacterial growth or high mineral content. Does the water smell or taste off to you? If it tastes bad to you, it's definitely bad for birds. And fourth, correlate health problems with water source. If you switch water sources, does bird health improve or worsen? This can reveal water-related issues. Now let's discuss how to fix water quality. For chlorinated municipal tap water, the simplest solution is letting water stand for 24 hours before giving it to birds. Chlorine evaporates during this time. Fill containers, let them sit uncovered overnight, then use that water the next day. This doesn't work for chloramine, which doesn't evaporate. For chloramine, you need a chemical dechlorinator, available at pet stores. Add a few drops per gallon according to product directions. This neutralizes chloramine instantly. Alternatively, use activated carbon filtration. A simple carbon filter removes chlorine, chloramine, some heavy metals and improves taste. You can install an undersink filter on your loft water line or use a pitcher-style filter. For bacteria contamination, ultraviolet sterilization is highly effective. A UV light unit installed on your water line kills bacteria, viruses, and parasites without adding chemicals. UV systems are affordable, around $100 to $300, and require minimal maintenance. Just replace the UV bulb annually. This is excellent for well water with bacterial issues. Boiling water kills all pathogens. If you have a small loft, you can boil water, cool it, and give it to birds. This is labor-intensive but guarantees sterile water. Chemical disinfection with dilute bleach or iodine works but must be done carefully. 1 drop of bleach per gallon of water, mix well, let stand 30 minutes, then offer to birds. The chlorine is at safe levels but kills bacteria. Iodine-based water sanitizers for poultry also work. For heavy metals and minerals, reverse osmosis filtration is the gold standard. RO systems remove nearly everything: heavy metals, minerals, nitrates, bacteria, chemicals. The water is ultra-pure. RO systems are more expensive, $300 to $1,000 depending on size, but they solve multiple problems at once. If you have severely contaminated well water, RO is the best investment. Distilled water is another option. You can buy distilled water and give it to birds. It's pure but expensive for large lofts. Some keepers use distilled water for breeding pairs or young birds during critical periods. For high nitrates, RO filtration is the only reliable home solution. Boiling doesn't remove nitrates. Carbon filters don't remove nitrates. You need RO or you need a different water source. If your well has high nitrates, test regularly and consider drilling a deeper well or using municipal water if available. For pH issues, you can adjust water pH with additives. If water is too acidic, add a small amount of baking soda to raise pH. If too alkaline, add a few drops of apple cider vinegar to lower pH. Ideal pH for pigeons is around 6.5 to 7.5, slightly acidic to neutral. Most municipal water falls in this range, but well water can be extreme. Beyond treating the water source, water hygiene is critical. Even perfect water becomes contaminated in dirty waterers. Clean waterers daily with hot water and a brush. Scrub off biofilm droppings and feed debris. Disinfect waterers weekly with bleach solution or commercial disinfectant. Rinse thoroughly. Use waterers that minimize contamination. Covered waterers or nipple drinkers prevent droppings and debris from falling into water. Open dishes get filthy fast. Change water daily, more often in hot weather. Stale water grows bacteria rapidly. Fresh water daily is non-negotiable. Let me share a case. A breeding loft had chronic fertility problems. Eggs were fertile but embryos died mid-incubation consistently. The keeper tried everything. Changed feed, supplemented vitamins, treated parasites, changed breeding pairs. Nothing worked. I visited and asked about water. They used well water, never tested. We tested it. Nitrate levels were over 50 parts per million. Anything over 10 ppm is concerning for birds. 50 is toxic. Nitrates were killing embryos. We installed an RO system to remove nitrates. The next breeding season, embryo death dropped to nearly zero. Hatch rates went from 30% to 90%. The water was killing babies before they could hatch, and the keeper had no idea. Another case involved a racing loft with chronic respiratory infections. Birds constantly had sneezing, watery eyes, nasal discharge. Antibiotics helped temporarily, but symptoms returned. I inspected the loft. The waterers were filthy with thick green biofilm. The water source was municipal tap, so quality was decent, but the waterers were cleaned maybe once a week and the biofilm was harboring bacteria. We implemented daily waterer cleaning and switched to nipple drinkers that stayed cleaner. Within 2 weeks, respiratory symptoms cleared in most birds. The waterers were the infection source, not the birds themselves. A third case was a young bird loft with high mortality. Squabs weaned fine but died at 6 to 8 weeks old, classic death window period. We tested everything including water. The loft used tap water high in chlorine. The chlorine was killing the young bird's gut bacteria, causing digestive failure. We started dechlorinating the water with a carbon filter. Young bird mortality dropped from 30% to under 5%. The chlorine was destroying their guts, and once removed, they survived. These cases prove that water quality has massive impact on health, yet it's almost never considered when problems arise. Keepers spend hundreds on treatments and supplements while giving birds contaminated water that undermines everything. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. Here's your action plan. First, test your water today. Get a municipal water report or test well water. Know what's in it. Second, based on test results, implement appropriate treatment. Chlorine? Let's stand or use dechlorinator. Bacteria? UV sterilization or boiling. Heavy metals or nitrates. RO filtration. Adjust as needed. Third, upgrade your waterers. Use covered or nipple-style waterers that minimize contamination. Fourth, establish daily waterer cleaning. Make it routine, not occasional. Fifth, change water daily, no exceptions. Fresh water daily is as important as feeding daily. And sixth, observe your birds. Are they drinking eagerly? Are droppings normal? Is health improving? Water quality improvements often show results within days to weeks. Water is the foundation of health. Everything else you do, the premium feed, the supplements, the medications, all of it depends on adequate, clean water. If the water is bad, nothing else works optimally. Fix your water quality and you'll see improvements across the board. Better digestion, stronger immunity, improved performance, higher fertility, lower young bird mortality, better feather quality. And you'll spend less on treating problems that were caused by the water in the first place. If this video makes you realize you've been neglecting water quality, don't feel bad. Most keepers do. But now you know better, so act on it. Test your water, fix the issues, and provide your birds with the clean, pure water they need to thrive. Share this video because water quality is universally overlooked. Every loft can benefit from this information. Comment about your water source and whether you've had water-related problems. And subscribe to Pigeon Healthy for information that addresses the real, often overlooked causes of health problems. Thank you for watching. Fix your water and watch your birds transform.